Good morning, dear students. Welcome to another session of generic digital switching system model. So, in previous session, we went through the introductory part related to generic digital switching system. So now let us move further, and we had discussed the hardware architecture. So now let us go further and see what is the software architecture. Now, as we can see that the software architecture consists of the different aspects. So now we have the overall system level software, which can be classified into three types, that is database software, call processing software, and the maintenance software. Now if I just come to the system level software, if I just observe, it is basically a multitasking software or the OS which is present. Now OS basically controls each application system which is deployed by the digital switching system. Now the basic software system, it can be classified into three types, that is the maintenance maintenance software, then the call processing software, and the database software. So let us start with the maintenance software. So under maintenance software, we had previously seen in the maintenance part of the module 5 that as to we have two different kinds of maintenance which are relevant. So one which is relevant to the supplier initiated software maintenance, in which we come across the aspects such as software updates or software patches or bug fixes, which all have to be initiated by the supplier or supported by the supplier in order to maintain the entire digital switching system. Now apart from that, we had software maintenance which had to be done by the site owners. So under this, it basically involved the routine maintenance which has to be followed by the site owners, or the routine diagnosis which has to be done in order to identify if there are any problems associated with the digital switching system. Then apart from that, it is the duty, or it is the responsibility of the site owner to keep the lines updated. So if any new line has to be added, that has to be done by the site owner itself, and if any line has to be deleted or has to be removed, then again this has to be done by the site owner. Apart from updation of lines, we can also think of updation of the trunks. So these all things come under the maintenance software. So let us move further, that is, let us look at what is relevant to call processing software. So this can basically be divided into three levels depending on the level of functions what they are supporting. So we can have something termed as say high level, then middle level, and then lastly the low level. So based on what type of functions it is supporting. Now first one which comes is the high level aspect. So high level aspect basically includes the call processing functions that require support from the CPU or central database. So these are all high level operations. So under these operations, we can have the translation data coming in, the office data coming in, and then the specialized billing services if required, so etc. These are the parameters which qualify for high level functionalities. So any software which supports this can be classified as the say high level functionality, and it is under call processing software. Then comes the medium level functions, which is basically related to the entire network software. These basically reside in the network processing units. They are also sometimes called as network software. These medium level functions basically support the routine call processing functions, such as establishing a path through the switching fabric, or verifying the subscriber details, then maintaining a call map, etc. So if I just look at these functionalities which are provided, these are all basically the functions which are related to the network control processors, so they have to be looking after. And high level, if I just relate, it is related to the CPs, what they are doing. In the other case, this is the NCPs which will be providing those functionalities. Then lastly, the low level functionalities which are basically shared between many interface controllers and the line modules. So here we come across the ICs which will be having low level functionalities assigned to that. Apart from that, we have line modules, then we have trunk modules, etc. What are basic functions which are related to low level aspects? So it is nothing but the functions what the IC is performing. So in medium level or mid level, it is the functions which are being performed by the CP, and in high level, it is the functions which are being performed by the CP. So low level functions, what are the low level functionalities? So one thing what we can come across is scanning of the customer line, then collecting the digits which have been dialed by customer, then attaching the service circuits, such as say attaching a dial tone when the receiver is picked up by the customer, so attaching the service circuits, then allowing for call provisions. So these are all the low level functionalities which are provided. So these all are related to what is termed as PS, that is peripheral software. So peripheral software basically looks after the low level functions, and these are the controller softwares. Controller softwares look after the high level functionalities and the medium or mid level functions, so which is related to the central processor, and this is related to the network control processor. So these are the softwares which are relevant to the call processing software. So what is the next this thing present is the database software. So in database software, we basically have to look after the maintenance records. So wherein say it has to store the information of the customer, it has to see what are the services which are available to be provided to the customer, or if any special translation is required, then whether that has to be provided. Apart from that, what are the recovery parameters which are related, then what are the system diagnostics that have to be followed, then we have the billing information which has to be referred and stored in the database. So these all come under these all softwares come under the database softwares. And previously we had seen that in the call processing we had network software and call processing softwares. So these are this is the software architecture which is related to a generic digital switching system model. So this is all for today. Let us meet in the next session. Thank you.